MMC TV USA. Now on POTV, Channel 100.
Well, hello there once again and welcome to MMC World Roundup, bringing you news from Sri Lanka and across the globe. Well, before we get started, let's take a look at your top stories first. A proposal to reduce electricity tariffs by 18% in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is on the brink of a historic milestone in its tourism sector. Protection guidelines for school children with high temperature. Japan's moonlander has survived the harsh lunar night. Well, taking a look at your news in detail, the authorities say Mahavali Water Security Investment Program will complete its first phase by mid-2025. The major objective of the mega-scale Mahavali Development Plan approved by the Government of Sri Lanka in 1968 was to transfer Mahavali water to northern dry zone areas in the north central and northern provinces of Sri Lanka. This was planned to be achieved through the construction of the North Central Province Canal from Moragahakanda Reservoir up to Chemmadukulam Tank in Vaunia. The target area includes 5 major river basins with a planned development area of about 150,000 hectares, existing and new lands. The area is blessed with more than 2,000 mine irrigation tanks in cascades across highland residential areas. Presently, the area is hit by a severe water shortage during the Yala season, which severely affects agriculture, drinking water, livelihoods, and food security. Completing the remaining parts of the mega-scale Mahavali Development Plan, the Ministry of Irrigation commenced the Mahavali Water Security Investment Program or MWSIP in 2016 with financial assistance from the Asian Development Bank. The main objective of the project is to improve the water security and agricultural productivity of the northern dry zone areas and minimize adverse impacts of climate change by diverting approximately 900 million cubic meters of Mahavali water annually. With this amount of water transfer, it is planned to increase the agricultural production from 165,000 hectares to 250,000 hectares, benefiting approximately 375,000 families with a population of about 1,500,000. The MWSIP roadmap has been planned to get early financial returns from the investment. The project will be completed in several future stages, each lasting 3 to 5 years. Stage 1, which is ongoing, will finish in mid-2025. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that the proposal to reduce electricity tariffs by 18% or more has been submitted to the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, and the tariff increase imposed in October last year will drop by a similar percentage. It is reported that a domestic customer who received an electricity tariff of 5,000 rupees will have that amount reduced to around 4,000 rupees. Minister Vijay Sekhara said that in August 2023, the Department of Meteorology, the Water Management Committee and other institutions instructed consumers to use less water based on the predictions given regarding the upcoming drought. Due to the drop in hydroelectricity production, the electricity tariffs of domestic and religious places had to be increased by 18% from October. The electricity tariffs of industries and hotels had to be increased by 12%, and the electricity tariffs of government institutions and public buildings had to be increased by 24%. The minister said that there was rain from last October till January this year, unlike in the past 5 years. Hence, hydropower generation was easy, and it was planned to reduce the electricity tariff by 3%. However, President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the cabinet gave instructions to call the relevant parties and look into the areas where the electricity tariff could be further reduced and provide relief to the people. When the stakeholders were called on December 15th, they outlined the possibility to further reduce the electricity tariff. Sri Lanka is on the brink of a historic milestone in its tourism sector, as forecast by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ali Sabri. For the first time, the country is poised to welcome over 2.5 million tourists in 2024, a testament to its growing appeal as a premier global destination. This optimistic projection, based on the significant increase of tourist arrivals in the initial months of the year, underscored the island's remarkable recovery and resilience, promising a new era of prosperity for its tourism industry. Sri Lanka, often referred to as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, offers an astonishing variety of attractions that cater to every type of traveler. From the sun-kissed beaches of the southern coast to the ancient, majestic ruins of civilizations past, the country's diverse landscapes and cultural heritage are its greatest assets. In response to the prevailing high-temperature weather conditions, the Ministry of Education has released a set of guidelines aimed at ensuring the protection of school children from potential adverse effects. A statement from the ministry announced that directives have been communicated to all provincial directors of education, instructing them to disseminate the guidelines among school principals. The guidelines, aimed at addressing the challenges posed by the elevated temperatures, encompass a range of measures to safeguard the well-being of students and protect them from complications such as heat cramps, heat strokes, and heat exhaustion. Specific details include recommendations for hydration, appropriate clothing, and modifications to outdoor activities to mitigate the impact of the heat. United Petroleum Australia Private Limited has entered into a contract with Sri Lanka's Ministry of Power and Energy to supply petroleum products into the local market. The agreement was signed by Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy, Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Eddie Hirsch on behalf of United Petroleum Australia in his capacity as the owner of the company. The Australian-owned petroleum retailer and importer has been assigned 154 stations across Sri Lanka and has also been given the right to build 50 new fuel stations. Accordingly, United Petroleum Australia incorporated a company in Sri Lanka under the name United Petroleum Lanka Private Limited to carry out operations within the country, with former Ceylon Petroleum Corporation board member Dr. Prabhat Samarasinghe having been appointed as the director and CEO of the company. This marks the first expansion of the Australian company's expansion of its retail petroleum outside of Australia, with the company owning over 500 fuel stations across Australia. Issuing a statement on the expansion, Director of the United Petroleum Lanka stated, "United is a billion-dollar company with focus on quality, safety and environment. Owners of the company believe that they should be able to benchmark good practices to Sri Lankan retail petroleum market and enhance the quality of products and services to its customers." A hotline number has been established for the public to access the freehold rights of their land, thereby realizing the objectives of the Urumaya National Program. Accordingly, individuals are encouraged to register their requests by contacting the President's Office, Urumea National Operations Secretariat via hotline number 1908 or telephone numbers 0114 354 600 or 0114 354 601, available from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. daily. Additionally, applicants can utilize a digital application form at www.tinyurl.com/urumea to meet their requirements conveniently. The proposal to grant unconditional freehold ownership of lands allocated to farmers and low-income earners, as outlined in the Land Development Ordinance No. 19 of 1935, is a standout feature of the 2024 budget. As such, acquiring these Urumea freehold deeds presents an opportunity to enhance land value, preserve heritage, and strengthen family economies. This initiative marks a significant stride towards promoting fair land ownership and empowering the public. President Ranil Wickremesinghe participates in religious observances before the commencement of the Navam Perahera of the Hunupitiya Gangarame on Friday night with Venerable Dr. Kirinde Assaji Thera. Emphasizing the significance of unity among devotees, the head of state underscored that it forms the foundation of a vibrant cultural festival. Addressing the gathering as a chief guest at the Navam Mahaperahera organized by the Gangarama Temple in Colombo, President Wickremesinghe highlighted the annual event as a testament to the unity and devotion of its participants. He inaugurated the temple's digital website, noting its role in enhancing the audience's experience of the Perahera through modern technology. Reflecting on the evolution of the Perahera over 45 consecutive years, the President revealed that this procession was initiated in response to a request made by Reverend Dr. Galaburanyani Thera, also known as Gangarama Podihamudruo. The request was made to the then Prime Minister Ranasinghe Premadasa, who provided essential government support to commence this auspicious event. President Wickremesinghe acknowledged the tremendous technological advancements while emphasizing that the essence of the Colombo Navam Perahera remains unchanged. He commends the collaborative efforts of government and non-government organizations as well as numerous temples in making the procession a vibrant and modern spectacle. Well, coming up next, let's take a look at a few additional news items. 3 renowned US NGOs have provided urgent in-kind medicines worth a total of $53.9 million to people of Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Embassy in Washington, D.C. facilitated the project. The most recent figures show that from July 2022 to date, the Sri Lankan Embassy in the US, along with the Ministry of Health Sri Lanka, has coordinated and facilitated a total of $53.9 million worth of in-kind medicinal donations from the US at no cost to the people of Sri Lanka. At a time when international aid and medicinal supplies are imperative to Sri Lanka, upon an urgent request for assistance from the Ambassador of Sri Lanka in Washington, D.C., Mahinda Samarasinghe, and the mission, the support of 3 renowned US NGOs was generously extended to the people of Sri Lanka. Some of the key medical supplies that were donated included antibiotics, medicines to treat high blood pressure and other heart problems, medicines to treat mental mood conditions such as depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, etc. The most recent consignment, facilitated by the Sri Lankan Embassy in Washington, was generously donated by Americans with the value of $201,208, marking another milestone in international cooperation and humanitarian aid. Heart to Heart International also continues to be one of the key partners in providing in-kind medicinal donations to Sri Lanka. To date, HHI has donated life-saving medicines worth $46.8 million with zero expenses to the people of Sri Lanka. Headquartered in Lenexa, Kansas, Heart to Heart International is a global humanitarian organization focused on improving access to health. In addition, Hope Worldwide donated essential medicines worth $2.7 million in September 2022. Recently, almost every East Asian country celebrated their New Year, which is known as Lunar New Year. This new year was named as Dragon's Year. In accordance with this new year, Vietnamese Buddhist devotees visit Buddhist temples as pilgrimages. Last Sunday, the March 10th, around 120 Vietnamese devotees and monks and nuns belonging to Theravada and Mahayana both visited our temple, Los Angeles Buddhist Vihara. They engaged in listening to Dhamma message, blessed chanting, and practicing dana for the Sangha. Everyone enjoyed visiting the temple premises and they were happy. The pilgrimage was organized by the Chon Dak Buddhist Meditation Center. Japan's moon lander has survived the harsh lunar night, the sunless and freezing equivalent to 2 Earth weeks. Last night, a command was sent to #Slim and a response received, National Space Agency JAXA said on X. The craft was put to sleep mode after an awkward landing in January left its solar panels facing the wrong way and unable to generate power. A change in sunlight direction later allowed it to send pictures back, but it shut down again as lunar night fell. JAXA said at the time that SLIM or Smart Lander for investigating moon was not designed for the harsh lunar nights. Bangladesh's critically endangered wild elephants have received a court order banning their adoption and protecting them from exploitation. Animal rights groups welcome the High Court suspension of all licenses so young Asian elephants can no longer be captured and taken into captivity. Some of the animals have been used for begging, circuses, or street shows. There are now only about 200 of the elephants in Bangladesh, with about half of those living in captivity. The country used to be one of the major homes for the Asian elephant, but poaching and habitat loss has caused a marked decrease in their numbers. Under the previous scheme, young elephants could be taken into captivity, where the Forestry Department issued licenses to logging groups who would use the animals to haul logs. Others ended up in circus groups. Such exploitation broke the terms of the licenses. Rakibul Haq Kamil, head of animal rights group People for Animal Welfare Foundation in Bangladesh, said it was a landmark order. Well, that's all the news we have for you today, but you can also find us on POTV, Samsung TV, LG TV, Apple TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, reaching the entire United States and across the world. Thank you so much for joining in with us today. Until we meet again next week, have a wonderful week ahead.
To catch the full program and more, subscribe to MMC TV USA on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok